Welcome to GitKraken Client. We believe that software developers should be able to write beautiful code without having to worry about Git version control. In this tutorial, we'll tell you all about what to expect when you first launch GitKraken Client, and then we'll get into the UI basics. We'll talk about branches and commits, workspaces and focus view, and finally, we'll pull it all together in a guided example so that you can go from issue, branch to pull request and feel pretty confident about that very common workflow of writing your code and sharing it with your collaborators. All right, with that said, let's dive into the basics. When you launch GitKraken Client for the first time, you'll land on a screen like this. And if you've already opened a repo, you're welcome to skip ahead to the next section in the tutorial. For this video, let's choose the Open Repo option. You'll then be asked to confirm which name and email address you wish to tie to your Git commits. And on the right over here, you'll get a preview of how your commits will show. Don't worry, you can change this later as well. If this looks good, click to proceed. You now get options to open, clone, or create a repo. There's even an option to group your repos. For this tutorial, let's click to open a repo that's already on our machine. Click to browse for a Git repository located on your machine, and then click to open the repo. Welcome to the Repo tab. When you open or clone a repository, you'll see your repo history beautifully visualized. There are 4 major UI areas we're going to talk about: the commit graph, the commit panel, the left panel, and the toolbar. The commit graph beautifully visualizes your commits and branches for easy exploration of your commit history. When you click on a commit, the commit panel on the right will show author details and list what files were changed. As you click between commits, you may hopefully see some familiar commit authors and files. From a selected commit, we can go even deeper into our changes. Click into any file listed in the commit panel to view the diff. The diff tells you what code was added or removed, which is foundational to understanding your repository's history. To slice this view even further, choose between hunk view, inline view, or split view. Okay, let's exit the diff and talk about the left panel. The left panel is packed with actions and information. It displays your local branches and remotes, along with quick access to your pull requests, issues, and so much more. The toolbar at the top tells you which repository is open, which branch is checked out, and it gives you access to quick actions like undo or redo, while also providing access to common Git actions like pull or push, and shortcuts to create a branch, stash changes, or pop a stash. There's also a shortcut to open an inline terminal. Ooh. The left panel and commit graph like to work together, especially when it comes to branches. Double-click on any branch in the commit graph to check it out. You can also check out a branch by double-clicking the branch name from the local or remotes section of the left panel. To create a new branch, right-click on any commit or existing branch in the graph to access the context menu. Don't worry about all these other options. For now, let's choose Create Branch here. Once you name and create your branch, the app will check out the branch and you can dive straight into coding. One more thing about branches. You can drag and drop any branch from the commit graph or left panel and drop it onto another branch. This is so handy for getting a list of all possible operations available between 2 branches, like merge, rebase, or even starting a pull request. Okay, for a smooth transition to your favorite text editor, try the command palette in the upper right to access quick actions like open repo in external editor. For my example, I've set up VS Code, but no matter where you make your code changes, GitKraken client will automatically detect any changes to the repository. GitKraken client helps you make beautiful, helpful, and convenient commits. When you make your changes to your repo, GitKraken client will detect those changes and place them into the whip at the top of the graph. Select the whip to view the file changes as a list in the commit panel. And from here, you can hover over a file name to stage it for your commit. For extra fine-tuning, click the file name to stage or unstage changes line by line. Once you've staged changes, write out your commit message, add a description, and hit Commit Changes to complete the commit. A pro tip: after you type a commit message, you can click this menu option to commit and push the branch to your remote at the same time. It should be convenient for when you commit with confidence. GitKraken client lets you group your repos together with Workspaces. Navigate to this icon in the upper left to access Workspaces. You can either group repos you have locally on your machine, or you can group repos hosted on the cloud. For this example, I'll connect to a cloud workspace. I'll share this with some team members, and I'll select github.com as my repo provider. And finally, I'll select some doc repositories to add to this workspace. Let's create this cloud workspace. I'll navigate over to the repositories tab. Now I can view the status of multiple repos at once, or perform a multi-fetch, multi-clone, or even a multi-pull. Plus, you can click on any repo name to open the repo, or even double-click a branch name to immediately check it out in the repository. Let's head back to Workspaces and click on the Focus view. The Focus view will show you all PRs, issues, and works in progress that matter to you for the repos in your workspace. To prioritize these, hover over any item to pin it to the top of the list. You can then hover over any pinned item to unpin it. Similarly, you can snooze a pull request or issue to save it for later. Snoozed items will be grouped together under the Snooze tab, and you can hover over a snoozed item to unsnooze it. All right, we're now going to put this all together with an example, and I'll be following the typical dev workflow of issue, branch, pull request. Hey, one thing before we get into the example: if you're newer to Git or you're looking to get a refresher on Git concepts, then look no further than the Foundations of Git course. It's completely free, and it has video examples that explains key concepts and even provides the opportunity to take an exam and get certified. The Foundations of Git course is available from learn.gitkraken.com. All right, let's check out this example. Okay, so here I have GitKraken client open to the GitKraken client docs repository. And what I'll do first is navigate to my workspaces here in the upper left corner, this tab up here. And this workspace is my Help Center workspace. Let me show you under the repositories tab. These are all the repos in my workspace. You'll notice that I'll be using the GitKraken client docs. Here it is, grouped together with my other repositories. But I want to focus on the focus view. So from the focus view tab, I have here all the issues and pull requests that are assigned to me. And what I'll be looking at today is this top issue here, this one at the top, PMM 276 9.10 in-app release notes. So I'm connected to Jira, and I am able to create a branch off of this Jira issue by clicking this option here, Create a Branch. So when I do this, will pull up the issue view, and GitKraken client will ask me to confirm which repository I wish to create the branch off of. So in this case, we're working in the GitKraken client docs repository, and GitKraken will automatically pre-populate the branch name with your issue title. So it's very handy, very important if you also have builds that trigger off of your issue ID or issue name. I'm going to base my new branch off of the latest main. So you have here a list of all the branches in this repository, remotes and local branches. So I'm just going to choose main. You can also type to filter this list even further. And then once I'm happy with this, I'll hit create branch, and a couple of convenient things will happen. So GitKraken client will open that repo up, create that branch, check out that branch, and you are now ready to dive into the code. So if you want to start opening up VS Code, you can do so right then and there. Let me show you a quick way to open VS Code with this repo already open. Again, that's from the command palette in the top right corner. I already have it here at the top, but you could just choose open in. You might have external editor if you haven't configured one yet, and you can just click through to finish that setup. Mine is already configured for VS Code, so let's choose this option for VS Code. I'll hit enter, and GitKraken client will open up VS Code, open it up to the repo, and here it is. I can start writing my code. So I'm going to type some code and get ready for our commit. So give me one sec here. Okay, I've written my code and I'm ready to make a commit. So what I'll do here is I'm going to return to GitKraken client, and you'll notice that there is now a whip node at the top, which with all the changes that I've made to my repository. So in my case, I edited the current.md file and I added some release notes. I also added this new file, .md file, just to show you that you can edit multiple files. GitKraken will detect them and group them here for your review. So I'm going to stage both of these files. So you can choose to stage each file one at a time, or you can click to stage all files at once. And then from the staged file section, you can click into the diffs of each of these files and stage or unstage line by line. So if you want to fine tune, it's here for you. I'm happy with these changes, so I'm ready to make my commit. Let's type a commit message. So this was the 9.10 release notes. And then I already have a description handy on my clipboard. When you are all happy with your commit message and description, click to commit the changes. There is this menu here and right next to it where you can choose to commit and push. So I'm going to do that so that this branch is automatically pushed up to my remote. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so I have commit and pushed my changes up to my remote, and I am now ready to either make more commits or we're going to create a pull request. So we're going to continue that workflow of issue, branch, pull request. This is the last step. So what you can do with any branch, either in the left panel or in the graph, is you can pick it up, drag and drop it. You can drag and drop it to any other branch that you see here in the graph, or handy enough in the left panel. So if you see a branch that you want to interact with here in the remotes or local or graph, you can go ahead and do so. For our case, we're going to drag and drop this onto the main branch. And when you drag and drop a branch onto another branch, GitKraken client presents you with all the options, all the operations that are available between those two branches. So because I pushed my branch up to my remote, I have the option to start a pull request, and it asks me to pick between a couple different remotes. The one I want is Origin. If you're doing this for the first time, you may see a push and then start a pull request. That's also pretty much the same thing here. We just want to make sure that that branch exists on your remote first. So for my case, I'm going to click create pull request from Origin main. And I want to use this branch that I've been working off of. And when you do that, this will pre-populate the form to create a pull request in GitKraken. So this is where GitKraken client shines. Here's the repo we're coming from. Here's the repo we're going into. Here's the branch we're coming from. Here's the branch we're going into. We're pre-populating our title and description from the commit that I just made. However, I encourage you to edit this further so it's helpful to whoever is reviewing your pull request. This is a GitHub pull request as well, so I have the ability to add reviewers, assignees, labels. The other services do have some subset of that as well. I think GitLab lets you do assignees. You might notice some variation between services depending on which integration you're connected to. Now in my case, I'm very happy with this, so I'm going to click Create Pull Request. This will create the pull request on github.com. But what I'm interested in showing you is that we can now go back to our workspace focus view. Let me actually, here we go. I had to do a little movie magic there, but I have the 9.10 release notes pull request created, pull request number 186. And I can click this action button here. Oh, sorry. This open pull request panel button here. You could click that action button if you like, but this is the pull request view. So it's very similar to what you might see on GitHub. You can add comments. You can add reviewers, assignees, labels. You can even double click this branch to open the repo right up in GitKraken client and view the changes that are pending on this pull request. Keep that in mind for when you're collaborating with other people and you want to see the changes that they're making. And this will save you the need to have to hunt for that pull request branch from like the remote list or anything like that. And there you go. We've just completed, we went from issues, we created the branch, and then we ultimately created the pull request. So from here, you would continue your review process, eventually reach some conclusion with your pull request, and then pick up the next issue, create the next branch, and create the next PR, and repeat. All right, you're now ready to use the legendary Git client for Windows, Mac, and Linux. To explore other features, check out our Help Center documentation, which we've linked to in the description below, or view other tutorials and videos on our GitKraken YouTube channel. For now, from all of us at GitKraken, we hope you stay legendary.